Have you started Christmas shopping yet? This Christmas season, your finances are more important than before. I'll tell you why and then how to thrive financially during this Christmas season. That and more coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. Financially, at Christmas, during this time of year, it's very expensive, and because of that, it can be a stressful time. And as if we, need the reminder from Clark Griswold, it can be a time where you can make some poor financial choices and then get all this financial stress. And the opposite of that is what we really want. We want to have joy. We want to have joy during the Christmas season. And financially, our finances are a big part of that, right? We don't want to worry. We don't want to overspend or overindulge or create this financial hangover that lasts into the new year. So how do you thrive financially during this Christmas season? Well, I feel like it's going to be harder to do that this year than in years past. There's several things there's more at stake financially this Christmas season. And so why? Well, number one, we've seen credit card balances absolutely explode since the pandemic. Take a look at this chart. We're approaching levels back to maybe record levels, and many economists have expected, maybe we've already hit that by the time you're watching this. Many economists are expecting that we will hit record credit card balance levels in the United States, like in total. We saw credit card balances skyrocket right before 2008. Then obviously in the aftermath of that, there weren't a lot of folks that wanted to lend, and people saw, hey, I overextended myself, I need to pare back. Then they ballooned again right before the pandemic, and then we saw that drop significantly as people said, wow, things changed overnight. I can't afford this. And now they're back up to those levels, guys. I think that you might have more credit card debt that you're currently balancing right now, causing more to be at stake financially this Christmas season. Second, along with that, interest rates for credit cards have skyrocketed. And I know interest rates everywhere have gone up, mortgage rates, I know, but take a look at this. We're back to sort of record levels or really high levels. Over 16% on average is the credit card interest rate. It was averaging around 12, then 13, 14, now back above 16%. So making these balances, these record high balances, even more challenging to juggle financially. Third reason why there's more at stake financially this Christmas season, economic storm clouds are directly ahead. They're not sort of in the distance and it might break up. They're directly ahead. Now, I don't know if lightning will strike or if it's going to start pouring or if it's going to break up. I don't know, but economic storm clouds are threatening, and you've got the Federal Reserve, the ones that are sort of drawing up the game plan, sort of wanting those clouds there. They're wanting things to slow down economically so that inflation can get under control. So you may very well, if your normal Christmas strategy is to not have a budget, not have any restrictions, and whatever happens, and then just deal with it. Your life might look different in a few months or 6 months or something like that if these economic storm clouds actually, produce a storm and we find ourselves in a more challenging economic situation. And then lastly, everything costs more. Everything costs more. That again is going to create some more financial pressure this Christmas season. Now, retailers, they're already starting to feel the economic pinch, and many people are saying, oh, they're gonna be lots of discounts, lots of deals. Well, I know discounts and deals off of really high levels, right? And even if you're able to find some things at a discount, all of the other trimmings, if you will, all the other expenses that come along with Christmas and the holiday season are likely to be more expensive. Travel will be more expensive, hosting get-togethers, foods will be more expensive, those sorts of things. So even if you can find deals on presents for the kids and loved ones, it's likely many other areas of your finances will be more expensive. All of that, guys, compiles into this could be an even more financially stressful time, holiday season, than in years past. All right, so how do you thrive financially during the holiday season? Let me go back. I'll tell you my very first Christmas as a married person, okay, as a married man. And my wife and I, we've been married over 15 years now. Our very first one, we got married early December, and we joined our finances at that time. and we realized that we had very different perspectives on Christmas. Where her perspective was, I want to shower everyone with gifts and you know, what's a budget sort of thing. And for me, it was very frugal, and we can show love and appreciation different ways than having to spend and spend and spend and show love that way. And so our first Christmas was very stressful. We didn't have any kids, and there wasn't a lot to do, so it didn't have some of those stressors, but still, it felt like there was no joy. She wanted to spend a lot. I wanted to say no a lot. And that's not fun, especially as newlyweds, right? That no one wants to do that. And so after going through that, thankfully we were still in the honeymoon phase, and I was able to sit down and say, hey, that didn't go so great, right? We weren't loving that experience. So how can we show up 12 months from now and not feel that way? Not feel like you're being held back and me feeling like I'm spending all my energy trying to hold you back and we're getting in arguments. Okay, so what we said was, what if we listed out everyone that we wanted to shop for and a generous gift amount that we thought would be, you know, we would spend. And the compromise was, we're not going to hold directly to that. So if things shift, if things adapt, we can adapt, okay? But it will at least give us a target and give me an opportunity, since I'm managing the finances for the household, an opportunity to save up and be prepared. And so we did. We made that list. We added some flexibility into that. I divided that by 12, and we started saving it each and every month. And I started with some seed money, because you don't buy Christmas gifts on December 25th, or at least, boy, you shouldn't, right? You're probably going to be buying lots of gifts in November and in December, okay? So I wanted, this is why I'm bringing this up right now, I shot to have all that money ready by Halloween. And on November 1st, if you see me riding around, you know, I might be a little more careful, because on November 1st, I go in and I go to the bank account, transfer the money that we've been saving up, and I get it out along with a bunch of envelopes and give that to Cindy, and like, okay, here's how we're divvying things up this year. And there's some fluff, there's some excess built in, but it gives us the ability to be generous and not financially at each other's necks during such an important time, such a financially maybe stressful time with so much going on. That entire idea is based on the 3-bank account system, where you've got your monthly expenses all taken care of. You've built a budget and you know how much income is coming in and how much is going out for regular monthly expenses, both fixed amounts like your mortgage and all that, and cable bill, that sort of stuff, and then variable expenses that still happen every single month, groceries, shopping, that sort of stuff. But then you're also figuring out, well, how much money do I need to be saving up for future expenses? We call them delayed expenses, delayed spending, where I'm going to spend this money. It's just not a regular monthly expense. So how much will I need to spend and when? And you start saving that amount every single month. So when that time comes, you've got the money there and you're not needing to rob Peter to pay Paul. For Christmas, we figured out how much money is the total Christmas spending budget, divided by 12, and that much is automatically saved into the Christmas account every single month. I've got the same thing for vacations. I've got the same thing for car repairs and replacement. I've got the same thing for taxes and insurances, those sorts of things. I've got lots of these delayed expenses, these delayed spending accounts. Christmas is just one of them. And what I've found and seen with other people is it really helps manage your finances during what could be a stressful time, and during a time of year that you want not to be stressed financially. You want to have joy and be generous. So that's why I think this Christmas, this holiday season could be more challenging financially, and that's how you get on top of it and make sure it's not challenging. Now, if you're listening to this in November and you're thinking, well, cat's sort of out of the bag, we haven't done that, then I would encourage you to do a couple things. Number one, make a commitment to get it in place for next year and start this process either right now or in January. That's number one. Number two, if you haven't saved up in advance, then right now have that conversation with your spouse. Get on the same page and figure out, what is our Christmas budget? Now, you guys might not like that term. You might not like the restriction, so maybe build in some flexibility there, but figure out what the parameters are going to be. Here's how much we're going to be spending on Christmas. Here's who we're going to be buying for, approximate amounts, and that sort of stuff, so that you've got some visibility, some guardrails, okay? And then you can go to the task of figuring out, well, where's that money going to come from? And then the third challenge that I would tell you if you haven't been saving up in advance for Christmas is just make a rule, don't put it on a credit card this year. If you really want to make sure you avoid that Christmas hangover, you don't get financially in trouble, don't put it on a credit card. And what I don't mean, well, then use debit, but then for groceries and other things that you normally use debit, use credit there. No, make a goal to get through this holiday season. If you haven't saved up in advance, make a goal to get through this holiday season without a credit card balance in January. Okay, so those are some goals, but that's also how you can thrive financially during Christmas, each and every holiday season from here on out. Work with your certified financial planner. This 3-bank account system and juggling your finances, having your operating system for your finances so that you can achieve these short-term goals and your long-term goals as well. Your CFP is going to help you with that. So work with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or send us an email, info@Korhorn.com. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.